welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie Williamson, and today we're going to be talking about my C-section because I did not know about C-section recovery. It would have been nice to know about, so it's really important for me to talk to y'all about this in case you're searching because you're about to have a C-section, or if you just want to know about it just in case. I really did not want to have to make this video. I really didn't want to talk about it. I'm so over talking about my pregnancy, so this will be the final pregnancy video. This will be ending the pregnancy playlist. This will be the last video directly about my pregnancy. The prep, because I was in the labor room thinking I was about to, do my labor thing, and then they were like, hey, your pelvis is not opening up, your baby's not coming out. So mind you, this was like after at least 24 hours of being induced, like active Pitocin coming through me, 24 hours of it. Shit's not happening. So I'm like, so are you suggesting a C-section? And the doctor was like, well, that or we send you home pregnant. Option A, please. I'm not going home pregnant. Then they're like, okay, well, we're going to go talk to the anesthesiologist, I think is what I don't know if that's the person. Look, I was already out of it. I was already so tired. It'll take about 30, 40 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so soon. Like, oh my gosh, okay. And I just started crying because it wasn't like, oh, I didn't want a C-section. It was just like, holy shit, I'm about to go into major surgery like right now. Oh, you're getting cut open 6 layers deep in 30 minutes. That's not a lot of prep time mentally. And then shaved me down there, which I was happy about because it had been a minute. They put a hairnet on me, which was not staying on at all. I don't know why. I went ahead and put my hair in a ponytail, and my mom said, don't put it in a high ponytail like this, put it in a low ponytail because you're laying on the back of your head. Thank you, mother. She's had a C-section. They unhooked me from everything I was in, like the Pitocin. I think I still have my fluid, the fluids, I don't know. And then some antibiotic that they were giving me that I would only need if I was having a vaginal birth. So they unhooked those, kept the fluid. They moved my little catheter bag. Something about the monitors on my belly, I can't remember. In that moment, I was just like, holy fuck. So it was like perfect timing because as soon as they finished, they're like, oh, they're ready for you. Like, they're ready for surgery. So at that point, they moved me from, you see where he's losing all his hair? So they moved me from my like bed that I was in to the, I don't know, the bed that they zoomed down the hallway with. And that was so uncomfortable, but also my epidural failed in my right leg, so I could still feel all my contractions and everything from like just my upper right side all the way down to like my knee. So that may have been why it hurt, but I don't know, it just hurt getting moved. Now we are going down the hallway, we get into the room, and after being in the labor room, which is what I'm gonna call it, it was so calm. It was like warm tone, low lights, like it was very like relaxing. Everything was dim and quiet. And then all of a sudden I'm in this bright white room. And in the movies when people get like so scared of that, I was like, y'all pussy for real, because it's just a room. Like, yeah, they have to see. Yeah, shit's gonna look clean. No, but when you're like, oh my god, I'm about to get cut open, and then you see the sterile, clean, white, bright room, you're like, holy shit, it's real. So it did make me nervous. It kind of scared me a little bit, so I just closed my eyes. And for the rest of the surgery, until they put him on my chest, my eyes were closed. When I first got in there, they started doing these tests. So they roll something up and down you, and they ask, they tell you, you're gonna feel this the whole time, but tell me when you feel it less, like when it doesn't hurt or pinch or something. So I have no idea what it was. I don't know if at that point I already had the curtain in front of me, like right here where you can't see anything. I'm not sure, my eyes were closed. But they started doing those tests. You feel it all the way, but when it started getting closer to my ribs, I was like, oh yeah, like I can definitely feel that. And then whenever they do it on my right side, I can feel it completely. Like I said, epidural wasn't working. And then I told them that. I was like, the whole time I've been in there, I can feel everything in my right leg. Which I told the ladies in there too, but they just kept thinking, oh, lay on your right side, it'll go there. It didn't. It was something about the needle position, because I told the people in the OR room that, OR, not the OR room. I told the people in the OR that, they were like, oh, so they adjusted the needle. As soon as they did, everything was right. So it was definitely needle placement. After they did all the tests, then, you know what, I think they upped the epidural before they did the test. I could be, because I know the test the doctor did was after the epidural, but I can't remember if the roly things were as they were upping the epidural dosage. But yeah, she went ahead and did that. She was like, it's gonna feel cold, and it sure did. Oh, and when they adjusted my needle, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. Are you gonna help me tell the story? And then the doctor was like, okay, yeah, I just pinched the fuck out of you and you didn't feel it, so you're good. Apparently they pinch really fucking hard. I don't know. I didn't feel a fucking thing. So obviously the epidural was working. Now the thing about getting that much epidural, you get the shakes. When I was in the labor room and they were giving me that little, you know, the first epidural, and when every time they tried to up it for my leg, which I don't think I would have need any more up dosage had that leg worked, but because it wasn't working, I kept asking for more. But every time they would give it to me then, you know, I'd get a little shaky and then it would stop. It would go away. My body would adjust. In the C-section, the amount they give you, I had shakes because they got to lay you in a T-pose. And they put like a weighted blanket on my arm, but it wasn't that heavy. My arms were shaking. My neck, like my whole body was trembling. Well, I don't know if the lower half of me was. I assume not. But my arms, ooh, you see that jiggle? shaking, like I am having, like I'm being exercised, like an exorcism, you know? Like I was shaking because of how much I was shaking, and I think I was fighting it because I didn't want to shake because it was getting really irritating not being able to control my body like that. My neck was tensing up, my back, like the back, upper shoulders was tensing up, and it hurt so bad, and I could not relax because I was so shaky. One of the nurses, so pro tip, remember this if you're having one, the nurse told me, stick your tongue out as far as you can. She said, it's an old wives' tale, but it works for some people. Tell me why I'm literally like, I go, stop. Immediately. It was so crazy to me to the point where I had to stick my tongue back in my mouth to be like, what the fuck? And all the nurses started laughing. But I'm like, oh my God, like that was crazy. Nurse starts to tell me like what's going on. She like started, like she gave me one step and I was like, don't tell me anything that's happening. Tell me when we're halfway done and when we're finished. Like I do not care, I don't want to know. Because if you start telling me, okay, he's doing this, I'm gonna psych myself into thinking that I can feel it. And they started with surgery and they were doing it. Jeremy came in the room after they had given me the epidural and everything, and I was already shaking. They were like about to start surgery. So he came in there and he was next to me. He didn't speak to me, but we had discussed if like any type of labor, don't with the, oh, you got this. Don't. Just be quiet. Just be there for me, but just be quiet. I didn't feel anything. The weird thing is you don't feel pain. You feel zero amount of pain. You feel nothing, but you feel something. You feel them messing around in there. You feel, it'd be like someone playing with your hair. Like you feel it. It doesn't hurt. You just feel it. You don't feel everything they're doing, obviously. I could feel it, but it did not hurt in the slightest. It didn't hurt like, oh, I just have a high pain tolerance. No, like you don't really feel it. Are you hungry, hon? I don't know, really odd thing. I'm telling you, there's no pain associated. I'll tell you that if you're like nervous to have a C-section because of like pain, the surgery part, don't even worry about it. Now, what I'll tell you in a recovery part, we'll get there. The other thing that I could feel, which was a great feeling, and my mom warned me because when they told me I had to go into C-section, I just looked at my mom and said, like, is it gonna hurt? Like, am I gonna feel it? And she said no. She said the only thing you'll feel, like I'm about to tell you, is when you're laying on your back there and they actually take the baby out, you can feel that. You can feel the weight of your child being lifted, and it feels incredible. You feel so light, you feel so relieved. And also I went ahead and started crying because I was like, oh my God, like my baby was just born. Happy removal day. Like that feeling was incredible. When you're laying on your back when you're pregnant, which you're not even supposed to, but you know, girl, you know, sometimes your baby hurting, you gotta lay down, you know, that's heavy as hell. So feeling that like all at once, it felt incredible. So if you're having a C-section, you're going to love it. You're going to love that part. After they actually get him removed, they immediately took him, and he stayed in the room, but they were like doing tests, I guess like the hearing and eyes and blah, 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 cleaning him up, whatever. And they go ahead and take your placenta out. I never saw it, never wanted to. I'm not going to eat that shit. The only thing I do kind of wish is if I had a vaginal birth, I kind of wanted him to stay connected to it for a little bit longer because I've heard there's like a lot of nutrients and stuff that they can get from it while it's dying out. I don't know, but I don't really care. He's fine. So the only thing after that, and one of the parts that I was most scared of having a C-section, is a lot of women get super nauseous at this part. And I'm trying to remember it correctly. I feel like there was something she gave me and she told me this makes a lot of women nauseous. Or what she told me is this part makes a lot of women nauseous. I'm going to give you this. I know there was a medicine that followed up her saying that. I'm gonna give you this because it helps with the nausea. So I don't know if it's something they did, like maybe a lot of women's bodies just like react at this one movement they do, or if it was a medicine they gave that makes you nauseous, so they give you another one. I really can't remember. I just know she was like, I'm gonna give you this because you're probably feeling nauseous. And I was like, no, I'm not. And then it was like a second after I had that thought. It wasn't, oh, I'm feeling a little nauseous. It's, I'm going to throw up right now. So they gave me this weird little bag thing. It's kind of like a crochet circle thing, whatever that's called. And then it has like a bag connected to it. And they held it next to me. If you need to throw up, there you go. It was right there. It was, I am 100% sure I am throwing up right now. Then she, you know, went ahead and gave that second medicine thing. It went through. Nausea went away. Something else they did, they put a little alcohol pad right next to my nose because I'm just laying there like, I'm still shaking uncontrollably. And they just put that like right there, and smelling the alcohol pad really helps with the nausea. So I don't know if that's something you can do while you're pregnant, but pro tip. I never knew that. They did ask Jeremy while all that was happening if he wanted to take a picture of him while he was getting weighed and measured and stuff. But I hadn't seen him yet, and that was something else that me and Jeremy had discussed. You know, hey, if I have a C-section, I don't want you to see him before I do. Now, whether Jeremy saw him out the corner of his eye, I'll never know. But I did discuss with him, like, I don't want you to see the baby before we can at the same time. Because I just put in all this freaking work and you're going to see him first? We had discussed a lot of stuff. Which, if you have a partner, I suggest having those discussions. I suggest that because it made things a lot easier when it came, like, in the moment to make decisions. And Jeremy knew kind of, like, my ideas and where I wanted him and how I wanted his role to play and all that. Jeremy was like, no. But the nurse actually took his phone and took pictures for him. And I, like, said out loud, like, no, I don't want him to see him first. After the throw-up thing, it felt like a second later, and they were putting him on my chest. And then we both saw him. That moment, I think about that all the time. I think about the first time I saw my baby all the time. I'll just, like, close my eyes and think about it. Not to be, like, dramatic, but what a great moment. Like, I cried. I mean, I told you I cried as soon as I felt him come out. But, like, when I saw him again, it was just like, oh, my gosh. I was crying. And I was like, he is so beautiful. And I don't know if everyone else gets quiet or if I just started tuning everyone out because I was so in the moment. Because everything was quiet. I didn't hear anything. Like, nothing. I didn't hear nobody talking. I think Jeremy was talking. If he was, I don't remember. Like, everything went silent, and I was just like, oh my gosh, he is so beautiful. He's so beautiful. He's so beautiful. I think I said it, like, over and over and over and over again. And then it's so funny to actually see the picture of him on my chest, which I can't show because there's a little bit too much T-top, but it is so funny because he was looking crazy. I'm sitting there like, you are so beautiful. So then after that, they moved me from the table again. This time I don't feel a damn thing because I am drugged the fuck up. And then we go into that secondary room is what I'm going to call it, the halfway house. Because it was just like a little hallway with a curtain kind of thing. And at this point, I'm exhausted. And I asked one of the nurses, like, why am I so tired? Because I didn't really do anything. I laid there and someone took him out. And she was like, you know, it's all the medicine and stuff you're on. Because I was exhausted. I was so tired. I think I got to hold him the whole time. I can't remember. They took him back off me after I got chest to chest in the OR. But I feel like in the hallway I was holding him the whole time. And I was really scared to hold him because I was still shaking at this point. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to drop this teeny tiny. He wasn't this big. He was tiny. And I was like, I'm going to drop him. Bless you. Bless you. We got in there. He got some shots. After that, they gave him back. The nurse taught me how to get him to latch. And I think he practiced the suction and latching. I don't think he actually got anything because I didn't produce milk until 5 days after, but he may have, bless you, he may have gotten some colostrum. And then I think they took him again. They took him out of the room to go do something. No freaking clue. Again, I was tired. Do what you gotta do. Make him healthy. They were like, do you want him to get, I was like, give him all the shots you can. Give him everything. And he didn't cry when he was getting those shots. His adrenaline, maybe. I don't know. Then they had to push on my stomach because when you have a vaginal birth, because you're doing all that pushing and there's lots of contractions and stuff, you're getting out a lot of that blood and stuff that was in your uterus. When you get a C-section, you don't have all those contractions and pushing to get all that out. So they had to push on my stomach manually, which didn't hurt so bad, but the way they talked about it, that I think is a pain tolerance thing because they were like, you know, all right, you know, it might hurt, like, oh, you know, it's gonna be a lot of pressure, but it didn't hurt too bad. I still had a lot of the epidural. I'm still shaking, you know, I still had a lot of meds in me. But they pushed it, and I didn't see what it looks like. I kind of wish someone recorded because Jeremy said he could see it, and he said it was a lot of blood coming out. But, you know, guy's version of a lot of blood versus our version, who knows? It was probably like a heavy flow period. And they did that a few times. They did it like every, like, 5 or 10 minutes for, like, I don't know, like 5 times or something. Then we actually got moved into my recovery room, the room we were actually going to be staying in for the next like 4 days, I think it was. So the first day, you are still bedridden. You still have your catheter in, or at least the first night. I don't know if it's first day, first night. It worked out for nighttime for us because we didn't get in that room until like 8 p.m. They do some tests on your legs, I guess, to make sure you're not paralyzed. The second day, you're really focused on getting that catheter out, which didn't hurt. And then they want you to practice peeing because of the catheter. Like, your feeling of having to pee kind of like goes away. You don't feel like you have to pee, I'll tell you that much. I think there was like the day that they were wanting me to pee, I peed like twice or something because I just didn't feel like I had to. And then you'll also have trouble like getting it all the way out, which I didn't feel like I was having trouble do that, but I had to pee in this measuring cup thing that sat on the toilet, and I had to pee a certain amount. And I kept not making that mark, so I guess I was having trouble getting it all out. But it's really nice, especially after 9 months of, you know, I gotta pee all the time, not having to use the bathroom at all, just laying in bed and it just happens. So nice. What a nice break. First and second day after a C-section, easy. Mentally, not easy, because you're so excited to be a mom, so excited to feed them, you're so excited to hold them, and you really can't do any of that. And that I cried about like a lot, because I couldn't sit up. I couldn't sit straight up, crisscross applesauce. I couldn't like lay him in the bed and change his diapers because I couldn't lean over that far. I couldn't pick him up, like really at all. Like if I was already standing and someone handed him to me, I could hold him. He was 8 pounds. I don't know if it makes a difference how heavy your baby is. I don't think so. I really don't. I could not hold him, and I couldn't even barely stand up straight. If I tried getting up on my own, I couldn't get out of the bed alone. Yeah, so that just really upset me. Like, you think you can't move when you're freaking huge 9 months pregnant? No. This kind of can't move, you can't move. I couldn't breastfeed him because my milk hadn't come in until after we left the hospital, actually. I wanted my body to be enough, and it just wasn't. But I never, ever would have thought that would have been so important to me, and then suddenly it was. That just threw me for a loop. Keep that in mind, like, being pregnant and thinking, especially, I guess, for your first, I guess by the second you have an idea, but there was just so much that I'm like, no, that won't bother me, no, I won't care about that, you know, whatever. And then suddenly, magically, somehow, my entire mindset changed, and it was just so strange. Things that I didn't think would be important to me, I'm crying about. That's just tough. Just keep that in mind. If you're going for a C-section, you're going to struggle with even just holding your baby. Other thing is, after like the second day, you can have a belly band. I was not told this. I was not given one. It's not something you need, but holy crap, I wish I would have had it. I'm sitting there holding my stomach because it does make it feel better, putting that pressure on it. Also, get yourself a tiny little pillow, a firm, tiny pillow. Never thought that'd make a world of a difference, but fucking Christ it does. Especially when you have to use the bathroom and put any type of pressure on any of your muscles down there. Pillow, walking, pillow, belly band and pillow. Like, for real, recovery items needed, those two. Yeah, I didn't know you could wear a belly band up until I was 6 weeks and like healed. Well, healed, I felt pretty healed, but healed. And they recommend to wear it before you get past your 6 weeks. Didn't know that. So, ooh, girl, I loved medicine time. Every time they came in, my ibuprofen, Tylenol, whatever the hell they were giving me over and over again, I was so excited. Goddamn, I was in pain. I couldn't even walk out of the hospital. They wanted me to walk out of the hospital. I was like, no, I need a wheelchair. Because for real, this hurts. And the nurses are going to tell you over and over and over and over and over again, you need to walk, you need to walk, you need to walk. I know I need to walk. I fucking know that. I'll walk when I can. This shit hurts. I will tell you what saved me. What saved me, girl? Oxy. Whew. Girl. They gave me a 5 milligram one. I was like, this is not doing anything. I don't want it anymore. I gotta make the rest of this quick because I'm running out of storage. Yeah, so she offered the 5. I was like, that shit did not do anything. I don't want it again. She was like, well, let me offer you 10. Girl, when I tell you I was walking laps around that hospital, I cleaned up the whole freaking hospital room. Like, that made the difference. So 10 milligrams, go ahead, start on 10. No, let them try you 5, but don't be scared to ask for 10 because I felt like an addict or something. Like, oh my God, like I need all these meds and stuff. Girl, okay guys, I don't know how much longer I got to record this. My phone is crying, like, please give me storage. Yeah, Oxy, take it. Felt so good. Helped me actually be able to walk around so that I could start healing my body, because you gotta walk around to start healing. Oh my God, luckily, thank goodness, I did not have to sneeze my entire 6 weeks. I don't know how that happened. I just did not have to sneeze. I didn't have to cough. I did laugh a lot though. Jeremy makes me laugh all the time. My brother. The ops thought they could stop me, but they can't because Snapchat don't give a fuck about your storage. So, they would make me laugh all the freaking time, and laughing hurts so bad. Anything that made your stomach tighten up hurts so bad. Take your stool softeners. I forgot my camera was on this side and not this side. Take your stool softeners, for real. Like, take them because your stomach will hurt if you try to use the bathroom without them. I promise you, I got constipated once. I was screaming in that bathroom. Screaming! That shit hurts so fucking bad. It hurts your incision. It doesn't hurt like your muscles or anything. It hurts the incision. It hurts like your guts are about to bust through your skin. So, don't eat nothing that you know is going to constipate you. Take your laxatives. Not your laxatives, your stool softener. Not laxatives, stool softener. Yeah. I'll wait for this one to cut out, I guess. So that's where the diapers were really nice, but having to bend down and pull them up, it hurts so bad. Like sitting on the toilet, or if you're going to do it, sit on the toilet and then pull it down and pull it up. Because there were so many times I would forget to like put the new one on while I'm on the toilet. And I would literally have to have Jeremy come in there and like help me like get the diaper on my legs and get my pants up to my knees so that I could pull it the rest of the way up. Like, it wasn't embarrassing or anything for me, but you know, sometimes you don't want to ask your 20-year-old partner to help you put your diaper on. So, yeah, it took about a week and a half, and then I felt normal again. They say don't lift nothing, don't go crazy, like 6 weeks after. And there were a few things, like if I picked something up that was kind of too heavy for me, or I, you know, just strained myself a little bit, I could feel like, oh, I should not have done that. I should not have done that. But, I ended up being fine. So, yeah. So, that's what I was just so, because there were like 6 weeks of recovery. I was like, dang, I'm gonna feel like this for 6 fucking weeks. Like, this sucks. Like, I'm in pain. I hurt. But they send you home with medication, and I had Oxy at home. I didn't take my last 2 because I was trying to focus on using the ibuprofen and the Tylenol that I had, because Oxy, girl, I know how people get addicted to that. That shit was nice. So I had to try to wean myself off and like make sure I was walking around and moving and getting that sensitive area used to not being sensitive. Recovery, I already told you about the belly band, right? Yeah, wear that. Go ahead and get you one and wear it. Go ahead and buy you one if you know you're going to have a C-section. If not, get someone to pick you one up because you can't drive for the first 2 weeks. By the first, like the week and a half, like counting from starting of surgery, not starting, but like after surgery, a week and a half later, I felt so much better. I felt so much better. Because I couldn't even put on my pants, y'all. I could not bend over to do those kind of things. I mean, I did it, but it took fucking forever because I'm slowly moving because it hurts so bad, and I keep forgetting my camera's on this side now. Sorry. That's one other thing. I read online to buy diapers because the pull-up Depends diapers are like so nice for all that bleeding after birth. And that's 100% true. That diaper was absorbent. I was very surprised because I was like, how's it going to do, you know, because blood's a little thicker down pee and stuff. But it did so amazing. The only thing is, with a C-section, because I was having so much trouble bending down to, like, pull my pants up and stuff, the diapers, don't. Just get a really huge fucking pad. I can't remember. I think it was Always, that brand. They had a really long, thick pad, and it worked really well. And definitely take, you know, the nurses will tell you, or at least mine did, take them giant ass pads. I have one. I'll put a picture in here. Take one of those. I think I still have it. I might not still have it. I may have finally gotten rid of it. But those giant things, because at least for C-section, I was bleeding a lot. There was still a lot of blood coming out, a lot of blood clots especially. And, you know, pads don't really do that well with blood clots. So that's where the diapers, like, this is where it is. All those little lines is like a little sponge thing, and then I've got some like waterproof tape above it.
Gotta come off tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it comes off tomorrow. I'll be able to take a shower. But yeah, so you can't see it. Like when I actually recover and heal, you won't be able to see it.
I didn't record an outro because I got so tired of that video. Can you tell he's bigger? I don't know if you can tell. Thank you for watching. So glad to be done with the pregnancy and done talking about it. And next video, we're going to talk about something a little more serious. Stay tuned.